Sarah Ferguson. We believe she's gone to Portugal because Eugenie's had her third child. So Sarah's now got 5 grandchildren. We believe she's gone to Portugal. Any invite up to Balmoral? Is this a way for her to get into the royal fold? She is the granddaughter of the 16th, 17th in line to the throne who's just been born. Is there a role for her now?
I mean, no, absolutely not. It doesn't. I mean, that was sort of her glue pre the Epstein files dropping. That was the only thing kind of keeping her connected. But now that that's happened, absolutely not. Of course, she's there to support her newborn granddaughter, Eugenie's first little girl. So that makes sense that she's doing that, but absolutely not. I don't think we'll see Sarah Ferguson anywhere near the royal family ever again.
We don't know Eugenie's the name of the daughter yet. Do you think that's unusual? We waited quite a long time.
Yeah, no, she's kept that private. Again, kind of with everything else, we're just hearing, just getting drip-fed information, and also I don't think they want it to be too sort of public, and also I don't think the royal family is sort of heralding it as much as they probably would, given all the scrutiny of that side of the family. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Fergie, she did pass that Balmoral test all those summers ago pretty well, but how things have fallen, I mean, yeah, I don't think she's going to be allowed back there anytime soon, and I think that that's justified considering all the allegations.
Well, she was banned from Sandringham no, she went to Sandringham, but she was banned from the public aspects. And when Prince Philip was there, she wasn't allowed there for many years. She was exiled at Wood Farm Cottage for about 20 years, but then she's returned and then banished again. So you never know.
Oh, I think this last one's probably the nail in the coffin. I would suggest. Reputationally, she'll never recover, and you just can't imagine that the royal family are pleased that they've been dragged through more scandal, largely to do with Andrew, but now also to do with her. So, and imagine how uncomfortable that the Balmoral dinner would be, them all sitting around the table.
Well, compared to the wafty chalets that she's been occupying up in the Alps somewhere or other, you know, Balmoral's probably just some sort of hole in the ground compared to what she's used to. I mean, because she's been living off a lot of her wealthy friends, we hear, just speculation. But, you know, she's not exactly down and out, I think.
No, it's not just the king that we were talking about earlier about, you know, this ridiculous story that was announced on the radio. He hasn't actually died. And it's not just Sarah that is thinking of, that we're considering maybe she'll go up to Balmoral. We've also got Andrew Mountbatten Windsor could potentially go up to Balmoral. He goes up every year. But the story that was on the front page of the Mail on Sunday this week, where do you stand on this? There's a suggestion that Whitehall figures still have Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on a list of royals that could get a full ceremonial, proper, you know, be on TV, will it? There'll be, you know, the whole streets will be minutes of silence. A proper funeral one day when he passes. Where do you stand on Andrew getting a full royal funeral?
I mean, I stand on that it shouldn't happen at all. I mean, it's quite ridiculous and it's outrageous. When I saw that story, I just thought, God, I mean, this is, again, the royal family probably just not going in and sifting through everything and crossing him off every list. And I think it's honestly just them being a little, not lazy, but just kind of forgetting about these sort of things.
Do you think it's a paperwork issue or that they've forgotten about, or do you think, or is it a case of they've left it on there just in case?
Good question.
I think it's oversight. I think, look, they've had a busy year. I will say this. Been busy in Parliament, been busy with the royals. That it's not really an excuse. I think that this is sort of an embarrassing example of the things that actually really do need to be cleaned up. I think any loose ends to do with Andrew, and this doesn't even really relate to, obviously, the ongoing police investigation, and he is, as we know, he's denied the allegations of wrongdoing, but this doesn't even really, to me, directly relate to that. It's not even like it's on hold for that, because even if that gets dropped, there is no chance in the world that the British taxpayers want to see this happen. Even if the investigation doesn't continue, there are enough other things around Andrew that this would not be tolerated for a second. So I think it's an example of an oversight. I think there are loose ends. Genuinely, I think someone should be appointed to just go through, look at every list that he's on, just do all the admin, do the Andrew admin, finish it once and for all. We never need to speak about it again. It's done.
Okay, so we agree he doesn't deserve a full royal funeral.
It shouldn't be up to the media to have to,
Right.
it seems like every time a different Andrew scandal has come up, it's the media pushing the envelope of let's get him banned from this, let's get his titles taken away, and then the royal family does it. Whereas if they were actually smart about this, and they really should be after everything that's happened, they should be taking the jump first before being pushed.
So we are the media, or we're just a small elements of the media.
Yeah.
Elements of the media are saying that maybe just get on with it and take him out for the line of accession. Take him out of the line of succession.
That's what I mean. Just this is this person I think should be hired and just go through and write down everything that needs to happen to put the line in the sand, because he's not returning. He shouldn't be in the line of succession. Of course he shouldn't be. I get that other things have been a higher priority in terms of their immediacy for, across the board. But this is just going to be an ongoing problem. We're going to see this sort of story pop up there are probably so many lists that he's still on.
Well, he's still on the line of succession.
Exactly.
Just imagine if something dreadful, we were talking about Charles earlier, if something dreadful happened to Charles and William and Catherine, George has to be 18. He has to be 18 years old before he can be king. Look, this is a massive if, right? But if something happened, then it would fall to a Prince Regent to assist the young king. That would be Harry. But you have to live in the UK. Have to have a UK home. Yes. He doesn't live in the UK, so it falls to Andrew.
Oh, my goodness.
But that's it. Of course, it would have to be catastrophic and sort of it's unfathomable. But at the same time, these are all the loose ends. He should not have any position on any of these lists. It should just be over. At the end of the chapter, it's going to keep bleeding until they... Is it suture? Is that the word? Not a nurse. I don't know if that shows. But thank you. So until that wound is properly stitched up, everything is dealt with, this is going to be an ongoing problem. And again, I don't think it's necessarily about waiting for the outcome of the police investigation, because Andrew stepped down from public life years ago, and that was before any of that. So I think it's the public don't want to see him in any way associated with any of these things.
Fair enough. Okay. We were talking about summer at the beginning of this show, about Meghan's dreadful summer. Did you guys ever have a summer job?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me what it was?
I was making coffees.
Okay.
I'm actually still a really good
counts.
barista. I can do patterns and everything.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Did you have a summer job when you were a teenager?
Yeah, God, yeah. I was working since a young child. No, I'm joking. I was working since it was legal to work, but I was working retail. I loved working retail. It was great. Basically taught me everything.
A summer job really shapes you. It earns you, teaches you about money, about hard work before you go off into your studies, right?
Did you, Matt, just before we get into this?
I
think that's what the audience will want to know.
Oh, right. No, I did many things, but one of them was I lugged around bricks on my friend's dad's building site, and that's made me realise that I really needed to study.
Yeah.
Because it was so tiring.
Manual labour wasn't
I needed
for
to go
you.
to university because it was exhausting.
Character building.
Good fun, though.
Priceless,
A lot of money. But I'm saying this because Prince Edward's son, James, he doesn't really need the pocket money. Does he need it? I mean, he's got a summer job helping on Sandringham estate, driving tractors, helping out on the farm. I mean, the King's going to love it because he enjoys, he's kind of love of the countryside. But is this a rewarding job for an 18-year-old James? We're waiting for his A-levels this month as well.
I think it is. I think it's brilliant. And I hope that all the royal children have to do stuff like that. I think it's part of the new wave that the public wants to see. We just want to see a bit of normalcy and a bit of authenticity from these people. So I think it's great.
Lady Louise, his sister, she had a job working in a garden centre.
No, she did, really?
When she was 17, 18 years old, before she went to university, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
A lot is made, obviously, because Prince George is the future king, but a lot is made of William and Catherine's parenting. But I've got to say, shout out to the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. I think that I love to see the style of how they're raising these kids, and they give them the option. They turned 18, and we saw James make his debut at Royal Ascot, I think it was this year, and they didn't pick up the official titles, but they, and the fact that he's doing that work before he sort of figures out the rest of his career, I think it's really good character building. It also can only help when they have a bit of experience of actual work, the value of money, being brought up in a gilded cage. But also, Harry was a jackaroo, which is a very Australian term, but he worked on a farm. The Australians understand it. When he worked on a farm when he was, I think, 19. So it's well, actually, no comment, because I know it's very divisive to say whether that was helpful to him ongoing or not. But I do think, just as a parenting decision for the royals, I love this kind of thing because I think it helps teach them the value of hard work.
Shout out to the Edinburghs for the parenting, but also for James for actually literally
Absolutely.
mucking out.
Yeah.
Actually getting involved. Could you imagine, we talk about parenting, obviously, William and Catherine, we always celebrate their parenting and from what we see from the children in public. Could you imagine George, Charlotte or Louis getting a summer job in their teenage years?
I think Charlotte and Louis probably, well, George probably will too in the way that William did. I mean, ish, not this sort of work. But I think that it's different for him because he's on a different track. But I think it's going to be very interesting seeing what Charlotte and Louis do. It's as the monarchy continues to modernise and we do see different styles of more modern parenting from the younger royal parents. I think they could do and they should do, really.
Obviously, George following in our footsteps, building site, retail or coffee shop in Windsor or something.
Love to see it.
I mean, I think the security costs will outweigh any any of the minimum wage that is given out, but I do think it's an important lesson. And I think when we look at the way that they parent, it's much more of the Middleton vibe. And I think the Middletons will be, or that sort of influence will make sure that they do something like that.